What is up, guys, and welcome back to F1 2016 Mobile Career Mode. My god, it's been a while since we've been on this game. It's over a month since we finished the finale of Season 2 at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, since we concluded our season as Max Verstappen. But here we go, we're ready to go again. I kept promising you guys I was going to bring it back, and that's exactly what we're doing for another season. Another season of 15 races. And I've had a couple of suggestions in terms of who I'm going to be driving as this season. I'm just showing you all guys the different combinations of seasons we could have. Maybe we'll try a full season in the future, or maybe we'll go for something shorter. It depends on how this season of 15 races goes, and we're going to do our best to complete it. Anyway, in terms of the driver we're going to be choosing for this year, I'm just showing you guys all the teams back in the day when there were 11 teams on the Formula 1 grid. Now, last season we drove as the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. And you noticed a pattern because in Season 1 we drove in the Force India of Nico Hülkenberg. So that means we could potentially go in a Williams of Massa or Bottas. Now, this is something that really tempted me. But in the end, I'm going to decline all of that. And in Season 3, we are going to drive as the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel to see if we can make the German a 5-time Formula 1 World Champion. And the first race is going to be under the floodlights in Bahrain. A Ferrari stronghold in the past, or certainly a few years ago. Let's see if we can continue that today.
Welcome to Sakir for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. We hope you're ready for an exciting evening's action.
So we've only gone and bagged pole position in our first race in the Ferrari as Sebastian Vettel here in Bahrain. Qualified on the super soft tyres, and some of you also wanted to see my settings, so here you are. You can pause them if you want to see them. And here's what I'm going to be using: low steer assist, braking assist off, racing line on, and max steer sensitivity. So the wait is over. It's been an awfully long time since I did any racing on this game. 5 red lights and we are underway for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and it's not a bad start off the line. Lewis Hamilton seems to have maybe got a slightly better launch. The proximity arrow pointing towards him. He's going to challenge into turn 1. We're going to take a slightly wider line to leave both Mercedes room, but there we go. We've held the lead, and it looks like Rosberg is ahead of Hamilton, but looking at the mini-map, we've got an absolutely enormous lead. I don't know what's happened there, if there's been some sort of collision at turn 1 as we go a little bit deep into turn 4 there, but either way, we've got a massive lead. We've held our lead after pole position, so that's job well done going into turn 1. So now we just need to try and see if we can run away from these guys. The idea today is maybe going to be to do a 2-stop race, see if we can be aggressive, but in order to do that we need to have really good pace throughout the entirety of the Grand Prix, as now we cut all the way over to lap number 5, because the first stint was literally just me doing laps and there was absolutely nothing else happening. And we're going to dive into the pit lane now already for our first of 2 scheduled pit stops. Neither Mercedes have pitted yet, but the Mercedes do tend to go long. It's going to be a set of soft tyres, and then hopefully we'll finish the race on a set of super softs. 2.5 seconds, pretty good pit stop, and we're going to come out in P3 actually, just ahead of my teammate Kimi Raikkonen, so it's good to see Kimi hasn't fallen down the order. There he is actually, just looking at the yellow dot on the mini-map, so he's right behind me. So Hamilton and Rosberg staying out for a bit longer. Let's see if the undercut works, and we manage to pull out a further advantage on the Mercedes. That's Nico Rosberg into the pit lane now as we start lap number 8. So the Mercedes going very long, Lewis Hamilton up next. So the fact that the Mercedes are staying out longer is only paying to my advantage, because we're going to close up to them more, which means we'll have a bigger lead because we're on fresher tyres now. By the time they make their pit stop, I've set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as Hülkenberg now the first lap car I've seen. You might be wondering he was 21st because I think there was a lap car in the pit lane. And yes, we're already on lap 8 and we're only 5 minutes into the video, so that's just showing showing how little is happening in this Grand Prix. Apologies for that, but yeah, I set the fastest lap of 1:30.0, so my pace is pretty good around here, as now I think Lewis Hamilton has dived into the pit lane. Yes, he has. He's there on the mini-map, crossing the start-finish straight to start lap 9. The safety car has been deployed, so does that mean one of the Mercedes is out of the race? I haven't seen either of the Red Bulls this race either. And here we go, we get to see the safety car in all its glory for the first time in this game properly. We're leading when it's deployed, and it looks like Lewis Hamilton's out. Finally, some bad luck has hit the Briton in this career mode, and he is going to retire from the race. It's all been Nico Rosberg so far, and no, the game's trying to make me pit there as we go to the restart. We go green again in Bahrain. Rosberg trying to get me. I'm going to squeeze him off because the game's still controlling my car for some reason, and you can see the AI stealing my purple lap because they are glitched. Under safety car, it automatically transports you to the end of the lap. Anyway, we've got Rosberg and Raikkonen for company now, my teammate onto the podium due to that Hamilton DNF. That could be massive for the championship. Lewis Hamilton may well be our main rival for this season. I'm obviously not discounting Rosberg, but in terms of reliability, Rosberg always seems to never get the rub of the green. So yeah, that's huge. That is absolutely huge that Hamilton's out of the race, and now we're just going to try and push to the end of the Grand Prix. And in terms of making a second pit stop, the safety car kind of screwed over my strategy as we're catching up to Gutierrez now, because look how worn my tyres are. You see the blue line there. The game, I think, wanted me to pit because my tyres are so worn. There's only 2 laps left of the Grand Prix. I don't know what's happened to Rosberg, whether he's had to pit again, but onto lap 13 we've got DRS down the back straight on the lap car. Raikkonen's up into P2, and Valtteri Bottas in the Williams is now in 3rd place. So that's a fantastic result if you can keep that up for the team from Grove. But the main headline here is obviously Hamilton out the race, Rosberg not on the podium, so Mercedes have really cocked it up here in the desert today. And as it stands, it's going to be a 1-2 for Ferrari on our debut. Incredible. We obviously managed a 1-2 last season when we were driving in the Red Bull as Verstappen, when we let Ricciardo by to win the Monaco Grand Prix and that crazy final 2 laps. Anyway, it would be incredible to get a 1-2 here on debut. That certainly wasn't expected, as we now start the final lap of the Grand Prix already, and we're only 7 minutes into the video. Yep guys, I'm sorry, apart from the safety car, it really wasn't an entertaining race, as now my tyres are really past their sell-by date. They're going red on terms of the tyre wear indicator. That is not a good sign. That shows that they really had it, and at this point it's not going to be about trying to win by as far as possible. It's going to be about conserving the tyres and just seeing if we can bring it home. My pace is going to be incredibly slow throughout the whole lap because I'll have to brake so much earlier. Look at that, 2.3 seconds slower just in the first sector. I just have absolutely no pace now, and it's all like 2018 all over again, when Vettel stayed on that set of tyres for something like 40 laps at the end of this Grand Prix. Well, it's obviously not 40 laps because we're running 25% Grand Prix, but anyway, it's that kind of idea again as we go very slow into turn 10. Oh, just a little tap with the wall there. You saw how slowly I took the entry, but that's how bad the tyres are. Raikkonen still in 2nd place. It's going to be a double podium for Finland by the looks of it, but even though it's been a boring race, even though both Mercedes have retired, even though my tyres are now begging for help and I'm going wide, it doesn't matter. We have been the class of the field this weekend, and it looks like we are going to take a lights the flag victory. We have led every single lap of this race, bar from obviously when the 2 Mercedes went for the overcut strategy. This lap car is going to re-overtake me now as we descend towards the final corner for the final time. It's going to be fantastic, perfect opening race for Ferrari, as Sebastian Vettel is going to take the checkered flag as we win the Bahrain Grand Prix to kick off Season 3 and get an achievement. That was beautiful. To quote Max Verstappen, simply lovely. What a race, what a result for Scuderia Ferrari, a 1-2 in Bahrain as we take the victory by 8 seconds. We win ahead of Kimi Raikkonen, our teammate in P2, Valtteri Bottas, a brilliant podium in P3. Also a huge shout out to Kvyat, Haryanto in P5, Button in P6, Rosberg only P7, as Ericsson and Magnussen pick up some very important points for Renault and Sauber. But an absolute shocker for Red Bull, 20th and 21st. Ricciardo and Verstappen finish after being 5th and 6th on the grid. The championship's the same, and Lewis Hamilton bottom. 2 Red Bulls and a Mercedes bottom. Red Bull bottom in the Constructors. How often do you see that? After the 1-2, we've got maximum points in the Constructors Championship. Just what we needed after a huge cock-up from Mercedes today. Hamilton out the race and Rosberg P7. We need to be making the most of these opportunities, and thankfully Raikkonen was able to back me up with a very strong race for the team. Anyway, that's it for today's video, guys. Please be sure to like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and join my Discord server. Hope it was helpful for you all to see the settings that I'm using, and you're glad that, you know, the series is returning and that we are going again, because I know this was a popular series with you guys. Let's get to 400 subscribers, because we're only 1 sub away at the time of recording. Anyway, guys, I'll see you all in the next video.